Well, as KPIX5 first reported, a green energy program that targets low-income homeowners continues to leave a trail of financial hardships and foreclosures in its wake.
In our original series, Project Home, Susie Steimle has an exclusive interview with the state agency tasked to oversee the troubled program.
I definitely think that we've seen some predatory behavior.
Maria Luisa Cesar is a commissioner with the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, the agency tasked to oversee California's so-called PACE program. That stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy.
We've seen the program mischaracterized as a free government program, which it's not. We've seen instances where documents have been forged, and we've also seen companies utilize these deceptive practices and target immigrant and non-English speaking communities.
Like Gloria Sanchez.
It all started with a call.
In a class action lawsuit, she claims she was hammered with calls and text messages from a PACE solicitor called Garantia Solar. She says the salesperson told her a program created by former President Obama required homeowners to have solar panels installed on their property by 2020, and she could do it for no money down and just $800 more a year on her property taxes.
Practically, the panels would be free.
But when she went to refinance her home, a shock. A tax lien on her property for almost $13,000, placed by a company called PACE Funding Group, that had to be paid off first. Not only that, she says the panels don't seem to be working, and her PG&E bill has not gone down.
On my PG&E bill, I don't see savings. It's the same as before.
Gloria signed her loan in 2018, and that's after a new law went into effect requiring that program administrators, like PACE Funding, talk to homeowners and make sure that they understand the terms of the contract and that they have the ability to pay. And since then, even more consumer protections have been put in place, but critics say it's still not enough.
One of the big problems with these PACE loans is that they're really targeted at people who are house rich but cash poor.
Joe Jaramillo is an attorney with Housing and Economic Rights Action, a nonprofit that helps low-income Californians with financial problems. He says complaints about PACE loans come in all the time.
So the standard being used to assess ability to repay, if it's being used at all, is really not protecting the consumer in many cases.
He's co-counsel in Gloria's class action lawsuit that accuses multiple players involved of fraud and negligence. He says one of the biggest problems continues to be the electronic signing process for the financing contract.
The electronic signature system is just too easy for the contractor salesperson to manipulate or pressure them into signing documents that either they can't understand because it's on a little cell phone screen or it's not in the language that that they understand.
Gloria says that's what happened to her.
They were in LA, they told me, but we can do it by signing on the phone. That is how I fell in the trap. Signing over the phone.
We reached out to PACE Funding Group, the program administrator based in Los Gatos that put the tax lien on Gloria's home. To date, they have not returned our calls or emails. Garantia, the solicitor that talked Gloria into signing the PACE loan, did not have a contractor's license at the time as required by law. It appears to no longer be in business. Gloria's contractor, Complete Solar, based in San Ramon, also did not return our calls. The company is licensed, but we discovered it's currently under disciplinary order for false, misleading, and deceptive advertising. Yet Complete Solar is still an approved PACE contractor with DFPI.
I think we have some work to do in continuing to get resources out to community members so that they understand what their rights are and how institutions like the California DFPI can offer some protection and some redress.
The agency received 370 PACE-related complaints since it took on oversight in 2019, 78 of them specifically regarding the PACE Funding Group. But so far, DFPI has only taken administrative action 3 times, involving other companies.
I think the reality is that in any industry, you're going to have bad actors. And we are trying to, as the state financial regulator, root out those bad actors as quickly as possible.
So Gloria's class action lawsuit alleges that Spanish-speaking homeowners are specifically targeted for these types of loans. It also alleges that Garantia, that solicitor that pushed her to pick up this loan, is still operating, but just under a different name, They call themselves Green Day Finance now. Ken and Juliet.
Right, you got to do so much backtracking just to figure out who's responsible. So how does this financing actually work? Who gets the money?
Yeah, and so that's part of what they say might be a problem with this program. The money goes directly to the contractors, and it's based off of the amount of equity in the home. So those contractors are actually incentivized to push for more work and max out that loan because, again, they directly benefit from that.
What a racket. All right, Susie, thank you for that. And keep sending your stories and ideas to Project Home at CBS.com and see all of Susie's reporting on our website.